In the highlands of Mexico lurks a bloodthirsty monster. It has attacked locals.
This is an absolute disaster.
Terrorized whole communities.
They fear for their lives.
And it leaves its victims drenched in blood.
The quickest way is to jump, so I'm gonna jump.
If the tales of this creature are true, I'm looking for a monstrous bat.
Total pitch dark. That's where we're going. Down there.
My name is Richard Terry. I am a documentary cameraman and I've traveled the world. I've filmed fierce and savage creatures. But my dream is to find and film real-life monsters. I'm in southern Mexico, in the remote highland region of Chiapas. I'm here with a film crew to investigate reports that villagers have been attacked by a mysterious bat-like creature. The stories I've heard tell of a beast that strikes at night and leaves its victims drenched in blood. But these attacks aren't something new. Similar stories date back over 1,400 years.
This area of Mexico was home to the ancient Mayans.
The Mayans were a highly advanced civilization, and yet they had an overwhelming fear of bats. Mayan folklore tells of Zotzil, the death bat, who decapitated his victims. So what is the monster bat of Mexico?
I'm headed to a town called Zinacantan, which is where a community of people live that are directly descended to the ancient Mayans. The people here are called the Zotzil, which translates as people of the bat.
If anyone can help me find this beast, they can.
Now, these people are extremely guarded about being photographed or especially filmed. So gaining access here is quite a privilege. But other people around the town wouldn't be too happy to see us filming.
We only have permission to film with the local shaman, Jose Joaquin Vasquez. If the locals see us filming anywhere else in this area, they might confiscate our cameras and even destroy them. So we need to keep the filming gear out of sight.
Okay, we'll like to keep the camera kind of low, so we're just to kind of...
What?
As we get closer to the town, we're stopped at a checkpoint.
Vamos a estar con ellos, sí, el curandero. Venimos con Juan de la Torre.
Y José Joaquín Vázquez.
Y José Joaquín Vázquez. Grabaciones con él. Vamos a estar con ellos, sí, el curandero. Sí, gracias. Hasta luego.
Hasta luego.
That was close. We got through by name-dropping the shaman and his assistant. Luckily, they didn't spot the cameras. The Zotzil have lived in the area for over 2,000 years. They even have their own language.
We've pulled up in the center of town and we're waiting for our local guide who speaks Zotzil. Just people going about their business. But even still, on a regular day, everyone's dressed up in these glorious colored shawls and clothing. I don't think it's a special event, it's just how they dress.
It looks like their day-to-day existence is remarkably similar to that of their Mayan ancestors.
I've been told I can go in now. I've got the signal.
The shaman is already in the middle of an intense ritual. I'm told that this ceremony will protect the town from demon bats. The Zotzil believe that there are good bats that help their people and demon bats that terrorize them. He's praying the good bats will protect them from the demons.
Are people here afraid that the bats could physically harm them?
Don Jose explains that the good bats are small and come to warn them when something bad is about to happen. What the people fear most are the larger demon bats that have been known to attack.
Have you heard of anyone here who has been attacked by a bat?
He says that there have been no attacks recently because of the offerings they make to the bats. But before they made these offerings, when he was a boy, Don Jose remembers walking up to the mountains and seeing a demon bat attacking a horse. This bat then tried to attack him, but he ran away and was able to escape.
What did the bat look like? Can you remember the look of its face?
Don Jose tells me that the bat was huge, as big as a vulture, with large teeth and big black shining eyes. This sounds like the bat we're looking for. And he says that the demon bats live in caves high in the mountains that surround the town. Nearby is El Chorradero, one of the biggest cave systems in Mexico. If there is a giant bat lurking in these parts, I reckon that's where I'll find it.
It really is great to be back out on an adventure. Coming to places like this is exactly why I dreamt of being a cameraman. I love it.
It's perfect weather for hiking today. It can rain for days at a time here.
I don't want to carry too much kit into this cave, but there's certain things I do need. There's no natural light in there at all. It'll be pitch black. So I have the headlight on the helmet.
But bats are extremely sensitive to light. To capture them on camera, I've bought a special piece of gear.
This is an infrared camera with a pair of infrared lights, so I can try and film bats without disturbing them.
Infrared light can't be seen by bats or humans, but this camera can detect it. So by using it, I can see in the dark.
Let's go and find this bat. This jungle in Chiapas is supposed to have an incredibly rich variety of wildlife. Look at those vultures up there. The shaman told me that he's seen bats that are as big as one of those.
It really feels like we're entering the monster's lair. I know from my research that aggressive bats often roost in the furthest, most secluded parts of a cave. So that's where I'm headed.
We have a low ceiling here, and we're right on the edge of steep, sharp rock leading down to water. And I think the only way deeper into this cave seems to be to get into the water and swim across to the other side.
That's going to require technical climbing, so my team includes some experienced cavers, all equipped with specialized climbing gear.
Can't believe I'm doing this. You can break your leg at every moment. It's just slippery and treacherous.
Not too bad. What's your camera?
The quickest way is to jump. So I'm going to jump.
If I don't jump far enough, I could break my neck on those shallow rocks. Before I can even catch my breath, I have to scale a 50-foot rock face. My legs are already weakened from the cold swim, so the climb feels even tougher.
That was really difficult. But right up here is where the back is. This is where I've got to go. All around here, loads of backdroppings, piles of it, absolutely piles of it. So we must be in a place with bats.
Finding bat droppings is a good start. I've made it to the furthest part of the cave. This is where an aggressive bat might live.
Now I can see the things flying around are birds. They may be swallows.
I think there's something else here.
What's that? Now that looks like a bat. But they don't look anywhere near big enough to attack a human.
They're too far away to even identify. It's time for a strategic rethink. The Mayan people left behind a wealth of carvings and inscriptions. If I can find a depiction of the bat that they feared, it might give me a clue as to which species I'm looking for. And the best place to look for ancient inscriptions are the nearby ruins of Palenque. But with the sun already setting, there's no way we can get there before dark.
I'm heading for Palenque, and overnight the heavens completely opened up and there's flooding everywhere. I hope that's not going to hinder our journey.
In 2007, mudslides and floods destroyed 500,000 homes right here in Chiapas.
It's starting to get worse. Everywhere you look, trees have come down, rocks have fallen across the road. I don't know what's happening here. There's a lineup of traffic and cars are turning around. This isn't looking good.
This is exactly what I was fearing. The entire road has collapsed. Look at that. They're not going to fix that overnight. And the rain's not stopping. This is an absolute disaster.
I'm in Mexico, heading to the Mayan ruins of Palenque. But torrential rain has caused the road to collapse.
Look at that. These people are trying to make the crossing by foot. We've driven for 4.5 hours to get to this point.
Palenque is only a few miles away as the crow flies, but there is no way through. Our only option is to go back the way we came and look for an alternative route.
We run out of road signs and sometimes we just end up down a dead end, which we just have.
I'm forced to stop the van and seek the help of the locals. And I'm dumbfounded by what I see.
When I said there'd been a lot of water, I had no idea it was quite this dramatic. If you fell in that, you wouldn't stand a chance. both sides of the road, completely swamped. I hadn't seen these. This road is absolutely crawling with large red ants. In fact, all over my shoe. All the creatures are trying to find any bit of high land they can in this flood. And here's a snake right in the middle of the road here. Looks like it's a coral snake, one of the most venomous snakes in Central America.
The locals are clearly amused by our cameras and by my curiosity.
The route up ahead, it's good, bueno? The route, is it good? Yeah.
Yeah, it's no, it's good.
It's good.
It's good. No problem.
No problem with that. Good. That's good news.
Yeah.
Gracias. So we've now found, rather than having to go all the way back, we can travel up this road and round off the page and work our way back to Palenque from the north.
The diversion takes us 5 more hours. When we arrive, there's just enough time to start searching for an inscription of a monster bat. The Mayan city of Palenque dates back over 1,500 years. So well preserved are its inscriptions that historians have been able to build a detailed history of its rise and fall.
I need to discover if locked behind these ruins, there's some sort of clue that could help me understand the identity of the bat behind these attacks.
There's no sign of my guide. It's possible he was caught up in the same floods we were. I'm going to have to search the ruins on my own. But at one time, this city had around 1,500 buildings, so I've got my work cut out. Because the bats that attacked them left their victims drenched in blood, the Mayans came to associate bats with death. And to appease their gods, the Mayan priests engaged in ritual human sacrifice, beheading their victims and ripping out their still-beating hearts. Blood once drenched these ancient stones.
I'm trying to find something that gives an image of a demon bat the size of a vulture, as the shaman Zenicantan was talking about. Something with teeth and large, reflective, beady eyes. Something that would give people nightmares. I'm not really seeing anything that's more humans. This looks more tribal to me. I'm looking for something that clearly resembles a bat, and I'm not getting it yet. I really thought I was going to come here and be under the shadow of some great bat-like god, and I found absolutely nothing.
I'm going to have to venture deeper into the less explored parts of the ruins if I'm going to find what I'm looking for.
It's really slimy and slippery on these stairs. Well, the nearest thing I've found to bats are these moths here. Switching to day vision. It's damp. We haven't got images, but we've got actual bats.
From what I've read, the distinctive stripes on the nose mean this could be Artabaeus literatus. But it's a fruit-eating bat, certainly no monster. The last ruin I have to check is the Temple of the Sun.
This looks promising. It's got wings, and you could read bat into that. I'll take a photograph and try and get some advice from an expert who can decipher these things.
I emerge from the temple and discover that my archaeologist Alfonso Morales has arrived. Perhaps he can help me understand this inscription.
This one looked quite demonic.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that I thought could be bat-like. What do you think?
It's a bat, yes, no question about that. This is what we call a leaf-nosed bat.
A leaf-nosed bat.
And it gets its name from the little membrane in the front of the face that starts from the mouth and goes like a sharp point in between the eyes. And it's not a peaceful one. This is an aggressive bat that has the mouth open, ready to attack.
This is the sort of thing that I'm looking for. An aggressive bat that's ready to attack. So this could be the bat that the Mayan people were afraid of.
The one that we know that they're afraid of is the Kamazots, from the word kame, death, and sots, bat. So it's a bat of death.
The bat of death.
This is the legendary bat that I've heard about. Alfonso explains that one night, two of the most important characters in Mayan literature, known as the hero twins, were hiding from a swarm of bats. As morning approached, one of the twins stuck his head out from their hiding place to see if the sun had risen. It was then that Kamazots swooped down and decapitated him.
Kamazots is a bat that would come out and rip people's heads off.
Indeed.
That's reason to be scared.
Yes.
So could this Mayan death bat be the same bat that's attacking the villagers today? The shaman told me the bat he saw was as big as a vulture, has shining black eyes and large teeth. And the Mayan death bat has a distinctive leaf nose. The nearby Los Laguitos cave is said to be home to the region's largest leaf-nosed bats. So that has to be my next stop. I've been warned by the locals that the inside of this cave gets hotter than a sauna, so if I get stuck, there's risk of dehydration, nausea and dizziness. And with a vicious death bat around, this is the last place I want to pass out.
Let's just have a look and see what it's like in there. This is a cave. If I were a bat, I'd live here.
This is a large cave system, so my guides and I are going to split up and cover as much ground as possible. Also joining us is Cynthia Hartman, a local biologist. We're going to stay in contact via walkie-talkie.
It's so airless. It's dank, hot, and so humid. I thought caves were supposed to be cold, that's why people keep whining them. Well, I'm going to use the camera to help me see, because this headlight's not really lighting up that much. And there's hundreds of cockroaches everywhere. Wow. You can hear movement of wings around. It sounds like an underground train coming through.
As I delve deeper into the cave, the sound intensifies. It can mean only one thing. Bats. I'm deep inside a boiling hot cave in southern Mexico searching for a monster bat. And I might just have found one.
I'm hearing loads of bats. Look at all them.
The number of bats I'm seeing explains the intense heat. With only one way in and one way out, their combined body heat has turned this cave into an oven. The bats are too high up, so I need to head deeper into the furthest reaches of the cave for a better look.
I'm going to try and turn this off and just use the infrared, and that'll have to be my guide to get down what looks like a really narrow tunnel. Right. Total pitch dark. That's where we're going. Down there. I'm determined to find out if there is a big leaf-nosed bat in here.
But given the speed they're flying at, it's too difficult to make an accurate observation.
I just heard one of the team have found a really big bat, so I'm getting over there to have a look. This is the bat. Wow, look at his face.
I can see the distinctive leaf-nose protrusion very clearly.
So I hold the soft membrane here and not the bones. And then underneath.
Because this side is possible.
Like here.
Okay.
Here. Okay. Oh, he's really trying to get away. He felt the difference.
It certainly has some pretty nasty teeth. And with a wingspan of about 1 foot, it's big. But nothing like the vulture-sized description the shaman gave me. This bat is Artabius hamasensis, the Jamaican fruit-eating bat.
This bat is definitely a leaf-nosed bat, the kind that we've seen on the walls in Palenque. But the thing is, this bat eats fruit. There's no way that this would attack a person.
It's a fascinating creature, but not the bat I'm looking for. So it's time to set it free.
This mud that's mixing with all my sweat, this is all bat guano, which is now turned into a lovely thick guano soup. Oh, let's hope it makes good conditioner.
As dusk approaches, we're treated to a fantastic sight. Hundreds of thousands of leaf-nosed fruit bats leaving the cave for their nightly feed. It's too dark to hike back safely, so I decide to set up camp right by the cave.
I'm really hoping for a good night's sleep, because I'm knackered.
But these mountains are full of dangerous animals. Jaguars, scorpions, and deadly coral snakes.
There's no edges to my little tarpaulin cover. It's just tarpaulin and sticks.
I just hope the fire is enough to keep them away.
I can hear hissing. It's daybreak here on the rock up the hill, and I slept really badly. Bitten, and sliding down the hill, and I've got to find out what creatures are behind these myths. I mean, there's a cave, and we've seen literally thousands of bats, and yeah, it's impressive, but they're small bats, and they don't eat people, they don't bite people, they eat fruit. I don't know. I think I've got my work cut out for me.
It's time for a change in tactics. I think the Mayan legends and the stories I've heard from their descendants might be exaggerated. It's clear I need more up-to-date evidence. So I'm going to head for the site of one of the most recent attacks.
I'm now heading for a tiny village called Villa Flores. It's not even on this map. But here I've heard that people have been attacked by bats, so I'm hoping to get first-hand accounts of what's happened. I'm sure villages like this don't get to see many outsiders.
As we enter the village, it's clear how basic and remote it really is. Our arrival certainly attracts a lot of attention from the locals.
They're peering through the windows to check us out. I'm going to get myself a bit closer into the village and see if I can go and introduce myself.
These people rarely see foreigners, so I'm surprised at how warm and hospitable they are. Everyone I speak to seems to be terrified of the bats they say have been attacking them. It's not long before I find someone who can give me some details about what's been going on. Jorge Gomez is an assistant at the local medical center.
During your time working in this community, have you met people who have been attacked by bats?
Jorge tells me that since 2006, there have been over 270 incidents of people being attacked by bats. And that's out of a local population of just 1,300.
These people who come to the centers are really scared. They fear for their lives. They arrive having woken up covered in blood. People believe that there are huge bats behind these attacks because there's just so much blood. Do any of these people wake up and see what is attacking them?
Están durmiendo cuando llega el murciélago.
These people sleep through their attack. The bat that comes bites them. They don't know anything about it until they wake up.
This seems very strange. So I ask if I can speak to one of Jorge's patients myself.
I found a lady whose daughter has been bitten by a bat. So I'm going to go and talk to her. Celia, you tell me that your daughter has been attacked in the night.
Sí.
She says that her daughter woke up in the night and cried out that she'd been bitten. And when Celia came to see what was wrong, she found the young girl covered in blood.
Sí, su cabeza aquí.
On her head?
Sí. Sí, aquí.
Can I see? Blood had come all the way down her face and onto her chest. That's a lot of blood.
Sí. Aquí.
The bat has actually attacked her 3 times in the last 2 months. This monster is relentless.
Se puso mala.
When these bats come, have you ever seen them?
No. No la vi.
So quick, she doesn't see the bat. She doesn't even see the bat fly out of the window, nothing.
No la vi.
Do you hear them?
No. Ya está enfermo.
It sounds as though this bat is so quick, it can attack without being seen. What I don't understand is how could a bat attack them without them even noticing? It's a real mystery.
This bat's method of assault is clearly very cunning. If I'm going to outsmart it, I'm going to have to be equally crafty.
These people here, they can't go to sleep peacefully without the fear of being attacked. They're completely completely vulnerable. We're surrounded by hills, mountains, caves, and these bats just keep coming back.
Rather than look in caves for the bat when it's resting, perhaps I stand a better chance of catching it while it's out hunting at night. And it seems humans aren't the only victims.
Bite?
Yes,
Bite.
yes, animals.
Animals?
Animals.
Really?
Yes.
The cattle?
Some cows living on a nearby farm were attacked last night.
Spirit.
This is it. This is my chance to catch the monster bat red-handed. I'm in southern Mexico searching for a monster bat that has been tormenting the local population. I've just got word that some nearby cattle were attacked last night. Don Alejandro has been a farmer here his entire life.
There are 2, 3 clear wounds on this cow. These are fresh, definitely. You can still see the blood that's trickled down from these wounds. This other cow behind also has a similar wound. So there's a real chance that the bats will come back.
This is it. This is my chance to capture the bat here tonight. To assist me in my quest, I've called in Cynthia Hartman, the biologist who helped me in Los Laguitos.
We're setting these very delicate mist nets around the cattle to see if we can catch one.
A mist net is a large piece of nylon mesh about 6 feet high by 30 foot long, stretched between 2 poles. When set up correctly, mist nets are virtually invisible.
I feel like we're a pair of spiders spinning our webs to catch these things that might be waiting to attack these cows.
The plan is to set up multiple mist nets close to the cattle, so when the bat swoops down to attack, it'll get tangled in one of our nets. I know this bat is very stealthy, so the nets need to be set up perfectly to maximize our chances of success.
And all I can do now is wait.
We're hiding in the grass about 50 yards from the nets.
I feel like I'm really close to catching the creature behind the attacks. Just takes a little patience.
We're going to creep back and check the nets every half an hour.
Grass and cow saliva from where the cow tried to eat the net. It's hardly surprising with the horns on those cows. If they go past this, it's going to wreak havoc with these delicate nets. Just look, just ripping holes in the nets here.
It's not looking good at all. I've never been closer. If I don't catch it tonight, I may never know what this creature really is.
What's that?
I'm sure I heard the sound of wings.
I think one of the cows has been bitten. Is this one here? This is the cow I saw earlier. That's the old wound. The other cow has a new wound. It's a different cow. That's definitely new.
The monster could be right here with us.
Richard, there's something in the net.
I can't believe it. I think we've caught something. This could be our monster. We've got a bat.
I'm at a cattle farm in southern Mexico trying to catch a bloodthirsty bat. One of the cows has just been attacked.
This is the cow I saw earlier. It has a new wound, definitely new.
Richard, there's something in the leg.
We've got a bat.
It's not very big, but it's right here where the cow was bitten.
I can't believe our luck. We've seen a fresh wound on another cow, and we've caught a bat. You see his claws trying to get out of the net. It's like snarling at me. These guys, they're so nimble the way it's climbing. It's gonna get out. You can see under its chin blood, so this one has been feasting on the cattle. And she's biting into Cynthia's glove. But those are really thick gloves. Look, it wants to bite. Look, it's going for it. It's got blood in its teeth and blood underneath its jaw. Ah, it's looking aggressive. It's biting, biting, biting all the time.
This bat has sharp teeth, shining black eyes, a small but distinctive leaf nose, and it feeds on blood. This is Desmodus rotundus, the vampire bat.
I've caught this vampire bat red-handed with fresh blood on its mouth from feasting on our cattle who aren't even asleep.
But could this be the creature that's attacking the villagers? I'm not yet convinced. It's tiny, nothing like the vulture-sized description I've been given. And I can't imagine how anyone could sleep through an attack from this beast. I want to learn more about vampire bats. And to do that, I need to observe them in their natural habitat. I've traveled north to Ayatoxco to meet with Rodrigo Medellin, one of the world's leading vampire bat experts. He's taking me to Los Anayos Cave, where there's a chance we could find a colony of vampire bats.
So it's in there? Right here. I thought it was going to be up the hill. Oh, it cuts right in.
Under it, yes. If there's any, the vampire bats are going to be to the very end of the cave. We have to keep our voices down and whisper from now on.
Okay.
If there are bats here, I don't want to disturb them, so Rodrigo and I are splitting up.
I just put my hand in something wet. Oh, it stinks. It just smells of death. It's a great pile of blood. They must have just been up there, and because I've just put my hand in the thickest pile of stagnant blood. I don't hold up much hope for the laundering of my clothes. Where are you? Ah, there's one. There you go. Okay. This looks like a good spot. There they are. There's one hiding round the corner, and he's popping his head round the corner. He's opening his mouth like, ah, I know something's out there. Oh, ah. These guys they're walking on the floor. They're actually walking out. There he is. He's using all four legs to walk. Rodrigo, come over here. Yes, this is exactly the common vampire bat.
Rodrigo explains that vampire bats are specially adapted to walk on 4 limbs. Like thieves in the night, they silently approach their prey and carefully climb up onto them. Their teeth are so sharp and their bite so quick that the victim doesn't feel a thing. It is this that allows them to feed and escape without their victims noticing. And that's not all. The bat's saliva contains a protein that dissolves blood clots. So the morning after being bitten, it's the uncontrolled bleeding that leads victims to assume that they've been bitten by a much larger bat.
This is astounding. Here we have our culprit. Here we have our vampire bat. The monster behind the legends.
The legends of the Mayan death bat are probably derived from people's experience of the bloodthirsty vampire bat. But this is no vengeful demon. It's just an animal trying to feed.
It's one thing finding these in a field. This is where they live. This is their space.
And this is what I came for. Mesmerizing shots of an extraordinary creature that ultimately deserves our respect. A real life monster. Captured on camera.